In this video, we will be talking about different approved English language tests for UK visas in various categories. I've been asked many times about different types of tests. People who apply for different types of visas, they are sometimes confused and they don't know which test to go for. So this is the video for that. So we will be covering everything about different types of tests in this video, so watch it very carefully, and if you still have any questions you can ask me. So the first test that we are going to talk about is A1, which is CELT GESE Grade 2, and this is a speaking and listening exam. Let me highlight that. Yeah, so that's the name of the test, and this one is the structure, and here we have got some information about it. You could see this three highlighted bits. So the first one is what is the test for, and the second is what is the structure of the test, and the last one is where the test can be taken. So you will see the same structure throughout the slide. So what is this test for? It is for further leave to remain, for family partner or family parent, and representative of an overseas business visa, and sports person visa, which is tier 2 visa. Now let me explain it a bit. If you are living in the UK and your spouse is in other country and your spouse has to come to this country, then they have to do A1 GESE Grade 2 exam. It's an easy exam. Or if your mom or dad, they are not here and you want them to join you, they can also do A1 test to join you. Representative of an overseas business visa would mean that, for example, there is a business which is overseas and they want to run a branch here and they want to send somebody to run that branch, so that somebody would need an A1 business visa. Or if you are a sports person, then you have to have a tier 2 visa, and for that you have to have an A1 exam. Okay, what's the structure of the test? It is a 6-minute speaking and listening test, and a provisional result emailed by 9 AM the day after the test is taken, and certificates usually sent within 7 days. Speaking and listening exams only. Okay, it's a very easy peasy exam. So for example, if you do the test today, you will get the results next day by 9 AM. Okay, so that would be your provisional result, which means that they would just let you know that you have passed or whatever you have performed, and the same result would be in the form of a certificate in 7 days. So it's a speaking and listening test, and the test is taken at the center. You have to book online and you have to go to a center to do this test. Okay, so let us move on. Second one is A2 test, which is CELT GESE Grade 3, and once again this is a speaking and listening exam. Okay, so what is this test for? It is for family partner extension, okay, required after 2.5 years. So for example, your spouse got A1 test, he or she applied for the visa, and they will get a 27 months visa. After that, they need to have further 27 or 2.5 years visa before they can apply for ILR. So to extend their spouse visa, they need to now do A2 test. Okay, so which is a step up from A1. In the same way, if your parent came to the UK using A1 test, now after 27 months they need to extend their visa using A2 CELT GESE Grade 3 test. Okay, so what is the test? The structure, it is 7 minutes speaking and listening test. Now you should understand that speaking and listening means here that you will be sitting with an examiner, and it is one-to-one conversation. Okay, there is no specific listening. I mean, they won't play anything for you and ask you to listen and answer. No, it is speaking. I mean, two people speaking to each other. Okay, so the same applies here. Next day 9 AM you will get the provisional result. The certificate will come in 7 days, and it's a speaking and listening exam only, which is also taken at the test center just like A1. Okay, if you have any question you can ask me. So these are very basic exams. Okay, now I have made videos about A1 and A2 and B1, all these exams which are here except for IELTS, which I'm going to do very soon. So if you are not sure about what type of questions you will have in these tests, please go to my channel and check all the videos. Yeah, next, B1, which is a CELT exam, and GESE Grade 5. I mean normally it is known as B1. This is the full name. It's again speaking and listening exam, and this is for those people who are applying for indefinite leave to remain. You could see this the process, yeah, step by step. So first, if for example if you come here as a spouse, then you extend it for another 2.5 years. So after 5 years, spouses can apply for B1. But this is not the only category where you can apply for ILR. There are many categories, but this is just one example. So if you need to apply for an indefinite leave to remain, or settlement, or permanent residency, all the same things, or if you want to apply for naturalization or British citizenship, then you need to have a B1 test in speaking and listening skills. Apart from B1 test, you will also need to have Life in the UK test. So these two are must qualifications. Everyone has to do that. I must say that again and again. You need to have B1 and Life in the UK, because we are only talking about English language proficiency test here. So I'm not going to talk about Life in the UK, but you can watch my videos. I have made so many tests for Life in the UK. I have got some explanatory videos about what Life in the UK test is all about, so you can check that as well. All right, so what's the structure? This is a 10-minute speaking and listening test, and test is either taken at an approved Trinity CELT center or by home-based assessment. Okay, so you can check the requirements. Okay, home-based is when you have some issues, problems, and you cannot visit the test center, but you have to have proper procedures. So mostly it is taken at the test center. So the results are sent to you via email by 9 AM the next day. I mean, this is the same because I'm talking about Trinity College exams, so they have the same criteria for every exam almost. I mean, timings are different obviously, but the results sending procedures are same. You will get your certificate in 7 days, and it is only speaking and listening test, and the test is taken at the test center. I have got many videos about B1, how it is structured. It's the 10 minutes obviously, but 5 minutes is topic form, 5 minutes is conversation phase. You can check my videos, and if you have questions you can ask me. Next one is B1, but this is a different B1 from the previous one. It is B1 CELT ISE I. Okay, it is reading, writing, speaking and listening skills. Now please don't confuse between B1 GESE Grade 5 and B1 CELT ISE I. B1 GESE Grade 5 is for ILR and citizenship, and this one is for these reasons. If you're applying for a skilled worker visa, if you're applying for health and care worker visa, for example nurses, and if you are applying for a scale-up worker visa or student visa but below degree level, then you can do B1 CELT ISE I, which test all 4 skills. I'll explain this bit, but first of all, skilled worker visa could be a chef, healthcare worker visa, it could be a nurse for example, or any technician working in NHS. Scale-up worker visa would be the person, I mean, for example, there is a business here in the UK and they need somebody to scale up their business, to expand their business, but the person they are looking for is not found in the UK. This person is somewhere else in the world, so they want to sponsor that person. So if that happens, then that person needs a scale up worker visa, which is and he or she has to do B1 CELT ISE I. If you're applying for a degree, which is I mean student visa, but that is below degree level, below graduation BA, then obviously you can do B1, but sometimes institutions need B2. UKVI's requirement is B1, okay, but it's better to check with your institutions, colleges, wherever you're applying to study, what type of language qualification they need to give you the CAS. Okay, the structure of this test is the total test time is 2 hours and 18 minutes, and 2 hours is for reading and writing, whereas 18 minutes would be speaking and listening test, which is again face to face with the examiner. Okay, test this will test your reading, writing, speaking and listening skills. Test must be taken in 1 day. I mean, you have to do the whole thing in 1 day, and certificates normally take 21 days to come. Okay, so you will see the difference between these tests and IELTS when we are talking about tests taken in 1 day. IELTS can be split, but we will be looking at that later on. So test is taken at the center. Right, the next one is B2, which is CELT ISE II, and it also checks your reading, writing and speaking skills tests. Okay, and this is for Minister of Religion visa, which is tier 2. For example, people who are religious figures like imams of mosques, or popes, or the religious leader in Gurdwara or temples. If they have to come from outside the UK, they have to have a Minister of Religion visa, which is tier 2, and they must do B2, this one, yeah, with all 4 skills. Or if you are applying for innovator visa, which is a kind of business visa. Startup visa means entrepreneur visa, where you want to start up a new business in the UK, so you have to have B2 in all 4 skills. Student visa, degree level or above. Okay, so if you're applying for example BA or graduation or BSc course or master's course, then you can do that B2, but once again check with the institutions or the sponsor what type of English language requirements they need. The structure of the exam is that it has 2 hours and 20 minutes. It is a 2 hours 20 minutes long test, 2 hours for reading and writing, and 20 minutes for speaking and listening. It tests all 4 skills, and the test is taken in 1 day, and certificate normally comes in 21 days. Okay, this test is also taken at the center. Okay, next, C1, which is CELT ISE III, reading, writing, speaking and listening skills. So this is getting higher and higher now. So the structure of the test, what is this test for? It is for student visa, and you can once again check with your sponsor whether they would accept C1. I mean, most institutions do accept, but it's better to check with them, because sometimes they would say they only accept IELTS. Sometimes they would say, yeah, they accept B2, but if they accept B2, you can do C2. You can always do higher test, but for example, if the requirement is B2, you cannot do B1, but if the requirement is B2, you can do C1 and you can still get admission to that college or university. What's the structure of this test? The total test time is 2 hours, which is for reading and writing, and 25 minutes, which is speaking and listening. and it tests all 4 skills. Test is taken in 1 day, and certificates normally take 21 days to come. Okay, right, so this is a kind of IELTS, but obviously different awarding body, different structure. So next, IELTS, one of the most famous. Okay, we have got 2 different types of IELTS. One is general and one is academic. Okay, whether it's general or whether it is academic, it will test your reading, writing, speaking and listening skills, all 4 skills. What is the test for? Now, IELTS can be used for 3 different reasons. IELTS general for migration. For example, if you want to migrate to Australia, Canada, New Zealand or the United Kingdom, then you can do IELTS general. Obviously you need to make sure that you acquire the required bands in it. Okay, so this test is in the form of bands. The result is in bands from 1 to 9. Okay, so different countries require different types of bands, so you might look at that, and you should make sure that you know what bands are required in different countries. Second one is IELTS academic for study purposes, and most institutions around the world accept this. It is one of the most prestigious recognized qualifications in English language. Okay, and the last one is IELTS general for work. Okay, so if you want to apply for some work permits or work visa, then you can do IELTS general as well. Okay. What's the structure of the test? The test is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. It tests your 4 skills, reading, writing, speaking and listening for academic. Now this is the difference between academic and general, so you might need to listen to this very carefully and understand that. For academic and general training, you take the same listening and speaking tests, but different reading and writing tests. So academic and general have the same listening and speaking, but the difference is reading and writing skills. So you will have different reading and writing tests, but the same listening and speaking. The listening, reading, writing sections of IELTS tests are completed on the same day with no breaks in between. The speaking test, however, may be scheduled up to a week before or after the tests. If you book IELTS online, your speaking test will usually take place before your other test. So let me now explain it to you in simple words. IELTS can be split into 2 pieces. For example, if you want listening and reading and writing tests on one day, you can do the speaking test on some other day, but that should be 1 week before or after the listening, reading and writing test. For example, if you are doing listening, reading and writing test today, so you can take up the speaking test either after today or 1 week before today's date. Okay, so this is how this test can be taken on 2 different days. IELTS academic can be taken at the test center or online, whereas IELTS general can only be taken in a test center, on paper or on computer. So this is the difference again, once again, which is obviously easy, not difficult to understand. Okay, so now the question is, what is the difference between IELTS and ISE test? Like we talked about B1, B2 and C1. So what's the difference between why should I do IELTS and why should I not do B1, or why should I do B1, B2 or C1 and not IELTS? Okay, the IELTS exam and the Trinity ISE exams, which include B1, B2 and C1, serve the same purpose. Okay, they provide evidence of your skills in all 4 skills: reading, writing, speaking and listening. But you have to check with your sponsor college or university where you intend to apply for study. If you're applying for study, you must ask them what is the test that they require, what is the score or the bands that they require. Okay, so that will make your life easier. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope that you understand the difference between different tests and which test is needed for which kind of visa. If you still have questions, you can ask me, and thank you very much for listening. All the best. Bye.